So I wanted to take this opportunity to revisit this Canelo Alvarez situation and talk about just some of the things that I'm noticing, especially now on social media. And I'm noticing when I talk to a lot of Canelo fans what they think. And I can tell you one thing, he's getting completely annihilated on Instagram. On his Instagram account, he posted a video talking about hard work, dedication, and determination. And he is getting absolutely slaughtered by people who just don't believe in him anymore. I think it could be a large part of it is fans who never really liked Canelo in the first place, especially with this whole, the WBC and the sanctioning bodies came to cape for him. I'm noticing a lot of fans are seeing the hypocrisy of this situation. And, considering the fact that he barely made it out versus Gennady Golovkin in the first fight, I think and it was a pretty pro Triple G crowd from what I've been told. People who went to the fight said that there were more people there rooting for Gennady Golovkin than there were Canelo. And by the end of the fight, we all saw who was getting booed and who wasn't, who was being praised, who wasn't. Listen, I got a question when I did my last video about somebody asked me how did I know, or what did I suspect? When did I suspect Canelo of being on something? Well, if I'm being completely honest, I thought about it earlier on in his career. There was a situation in which when he fought Miguel Cotto is not a cupcake, okay? Cotto at 154 has shown he had exceptional power. His power, he was a strong puncher. Cotto was never one of those punchers who, when he hit you, you felt it in your feet, that stinging. The way I could always put it, Larry Holmes, when he best described George Foreman's power. George Foreman's power was like that stinging. Once he hits you, lights out. It shut everything down. What Miguel Cotto was is he was a very strong puncher, solid puncher. Canelo walked right through his shots. And I started noticing that when I went back and I started watching most of Canelo fights, when he fought strong punchers like James Kirkland, right? I'll give you an example. Kirkland his style played right into the counterpunching of Canelo. So we're not talking from a strategic standpoint. We're just talking about size and strength. Kirkland is a strong man, okay? And he literally would take Kirkland's best shots and shake them off and walk through them and then hit him with these thunderous shots. Like, his power just seemed like supernatural. His ability to absorb punches just seemed supernatural. If you go back and you watch a lot of Canelo's fights, you'll see it for yourself. He gets hit flush with, and these are by big men, right? And they don't seem to move him. The only one that seemed to even have even slightest bit of success when he hit him with power punches was Triple G. And a lot of that came down to Canelo's stamina issues, okay? Because Canelo is fighting at weights that his natural size is. See, the thing is about Canelo, if Canelo wasn't boxing, he'd be a fat boy. He'd be a doughboy. He'd be a pretty big guy, all right? Like, I see Canelo probably walks around like 200 plus pounds. If he's not fighting, this dude is a big boy. This is why he was killing himself to make, to fight at the lower weights, and then he started making up his own weight because his body just would reject losing those extra pounds. Because after a point, your body just says enough is enough. But I just started noticing a lot of things about Canelo. And that's one of the reasons why I decided it took me to think about it really long and hard. But when I did my first video about 7 months ago, and I decided I wanted to address it, it was after really watching Canelo and just seeing that there were just certain things. He steadily moved up, and yet there was literally his punch resistance was the same. And this was against different opponents, different size opponents. Okay, he got hurt by Ricky Hatton's brother Okay, and after that fight, go back and look at any of his other fights he's had. After he fought Ricky Hatton's brother, go back and watch all those other fights. This man's punch resistance was became supernatural. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna be looking for in this second performance against Triple G, his punch resistance and his stamina. Now I already told you that Canelo is a 30 to 40 second spurt fighter, and that was. And again, I know some people say, "Oh, well, he only got caught this time." Trust me, I believe that Canelo, again, just because they found Clenbuterol in his system doesn't mean there's other things he was not using. And I can tell you right now, with the way his body is and the way his head has misshapenly changed, he's doing a lot more than that. So I just wanted to just further explain myself about this Canelo situation. Listen, it is what it is, but I predict that Triple G will beat Canelo in this fight. I know a lot of people think that Canelo is going to beat Triple G. I think that Gennady Golovkin figured Canelo out, and I think it's going to be a lot smoother for Golovkin in this next bout.